Welcome to Wellness Wonderland, your holistic wellness hub. Join us as we dive into the realms of alternative medicine, mindfulness, spirituality, and everything in between. I'm your host, Nicole Papageorge, and today we have Cori Stuart with us. Cori serves as a heart-based holistic healer who assists individuals in soulful reconnection through releasing anxiousness, self-doubt, energetic blockages through utilizing the chakras as guides. She believes that life should be lived from the heart and is passionate about assisting others to no longer feel like a plus one in their own lives. That is a powerful mission, Cori, and I'm so excited to have you on today. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Thank you so much for having me on today, Nicole.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. I just shot an episode with Julie and we talked about you on the podcast. I was like, I'm going to have her on the next one. So this is
Excellent.
Cori, ladies and gentlemen.
I am truly honored to be here. And you're right, it is a big mission, but we have this one big life. So why not fill it?
Yes, I love it. I love it so much. So can you tell us a little about what you do? I know that you're a healer. I know you work with a lot of different modalities. So can you just kind of break it down to the audience and just,
Sure. So I'm going to try to keep this as short and simple as possible because I know we could talk for hours. However, for our listeners, they don't need that. We can always do multiple episodes if needed. But I work as a healer who uses mindset or coaching techniques in order to work with what's going on between your two ears that might have served you in the past, but no longer helps you to build the future that you want. That can be things that we learned from childhood or past employers, relationships. But we've got this one beautiful prime real estate between our two ears. We need not let the old stuff take front run. Let's let it go. I'm also a huge proponent of using energy work, especially Reiki and quantum touch, and a couple of other modalities to help move that along or to help let that go. The beautiful thing with Reiki is you don't have to go through the trauma again in order for your body to better balance. Um, Several hospitals have started, actually not several, numerous hospitals, but several here in the local area use Reiki post-op to help the body help heal, as well as to serve as anxiety mitigation. As even Harvard has a study out saying that even just one session, which I definitely recommend more than one, but even just one session can help you reduce your anxiety level.
isn't that incredible? And also, can we just round of applause for starting to incorporate different healing modalities into hospitals? Because that's major, like headway, major
Yes.
headway.
Yeah,
And
I've even learned that there's now a code for a lot of health savings accounts or different insurance groups for alternative modalities for billing purposes. And it's like small victory, happy dance.
wow, that's next level. I did not even know that because we're on our way.
Fingers, toes, all crossed.
Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. I study Reiki. I don't practice too often. I still dabble a little bit, but it is so powerful. And for me, like I did it, let me see, I did my Reiki level 2 last spring. So it's been a little over a year. And that was a major catalyst to like, I feel like my like third like big spiritual awakening. I had the craziest ascension experience to the attunement. And I feel like from there, it's just been like rapid expansion forward.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
beautiful thing with Reiki, for those who aren't familiar with Reiki, it's a Japanese energy healing technique, and it is the intentional movement of energy. It's also known as a active form of meditation. So for those of us who may have ADHD or just short attention spans, we can take a meditative nap and actually you can do Reiki on yourself. Reiki level 1 is all about self-care. And I think that's one of the most beautiful aspects. It's not immediately jumping into how do I take care of others? It's how do I take care of myself so I can better take care of others? And that's why I'm very passionate about teaching Reiki. But I'm also very passionate about not teaching attunements or doing attunements around different times of the year where it may be triggering, because as you're processing different layers of energy, it can be its own trigger. So I intentionally don't teach around like Thanksgiving, Christmas time, because you're going to be going through your enough boundaries, whatnot. Holidays are not always full of just pure joy for everybody.
That's true.
So if we can help keep that balance, like I love teaching in the fall, so people are better prepared for the holiday season or whatever season may be more difficult for them. But let's build you up, not knock you down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know some modalities you got to get to the root and do a lot of shadow work, and Reiki is very gentle and relaxing.
Yeah.
I love how you were breaking it down and kind of giving a description for people who may not understand it. I would love to hear how you describe it to like a total newbie. Like, how would you describe Reiki?
So for me, it is the intentional movement of energy. It's tapping into that universal energy that's within us and all around us. So as a Reiki practitioner, I serve as a conduit to work with your body's energy so your body can be the best blessing of love and light.
Mm-hmm.
I've been asked a lot recently as to if there's religion affiliated. There most certainly isn't. There's definitely no conjuring. It is just tapping into the beautiful universal stuff around us and working with the particular individual who's receiving their energy so they can be better balanced, which reduces inflammation, helps the body to heal faster, helps our mind to feel better, i.e. anxiety reduction and less brain fog.
Nice. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I always try to explain it as, so people are like, what do you mean? Like it's a frequency. And I'm like, we have the cloud above us, there's Wi-Fi, there's radio waves, there's light waves, there's all these different things that are around us that we may not be able to see, but you know that they're there. And Reiki's kind of one of those things.
Yeah, so building on that with the different frequencies, one of the simplest ways that I use to explain it is it's a lot like different radio stations, right? Depending on what frequency we're tuned into, we get classical, we get rock and roll, we get country, we get Zen. Similar with different energy modalities, that includes prayer, if you tune into one channel, meditation on another channel, Reiki on another channel. It's just what frequency or what energy level you're tuning into.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's really cool. So you kind of get to set the tone, you get to set the pace. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? Like what's the journey, if you feel called to share? Like how long have you been practicing too?
So it struck me that I have been practicing mindset for 10 years. 10 years. I started studying with a coach and then actually working with a mindset coach, which was the best terrible thing that ever happened. I am not a pushy salesperson, so it did not work well. But I had a good friend who went through some major family trauma, and their therapist recommended Reiki as a way to help feel calm, to help turn their brain off. And they're like, if this can work for me, it might work for you with your high anxiety level. Like I've tried pretty much every Western med possible. Just tell me what I owe the snake charmer. It won't work, but I'll show up. I will pay them. I'll come home and I'll smile at you and be like, yep, that was a big fat no.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Midwest, and where I was at the time, alternative modalities were kind of okay, but not really. Like acupuncture really hadn't taken off as being a familiar, known healing, like mainstream. Chiropractors were still kind of on the iffy line. Reiki, there was only one practitioner in town. But I went, and after 2 sessions, I knew I was onto something. And after several years of studying mindset, I started meeting other healers. I'm like, wait, I don't just have to be receiving this. I can do this for others. So I actually showed up for Reiki level 1 thinking that I would be working on others. Whereas, ironically, as mentioned earlier, level 1 is all about taking care of yourself. But I have been public practicing for at least 5 years. I'm a highly intuitive, empathetic, individual. And so the first couple of years, I was practicing on myself and a couple of friends because I didn't want to take other people's stuff home with me.
Yeah.
So that's another strength that I'm able to share with others of this is how you not only do the practice, but this is how you make sure that the energy recycles the energy that you're releasing, that it's not coming home with you and you're not taking on anything you shouldn't, as well as being able to release your own junk.
Mm, that's so important.
Yeah.
I'm super empathetic too, and I joke, I say I'm a human sponge because I can feel like when there's a shift in the room, I'm like, I feel it. If there's a shift in you, I probably know before you know. It's like crazy, and it's a blessing and a curse. And so when I started doing Reiki, I didn't know what boundaries were. Like I was really doing this to like look for community. This was level one. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but like I'm looking for my like-minded tribe. I feel like they might be here. It just felt good. And I didn't really know what I was getting into. And then I remember the girls that were there were highly intuitive. This one woman was at my feet and she's like, you have jaw tension. And I'm like, how do you know that? Like, what? And my mind was absolutely blown. And then like I just was like, okay, I need to know more. I need to know more. But I remember the first time I went home, I practiced on my friend. I quite literally absorbed the pain that they had in their foot and I felt it. And I was
Mhm.
like, okay, no, I don't want this. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful thing with being an empath is we're able to see, feel things that not necessarily others can, or that we necessarily want to either. But as the more we practice, or at least the more that I practice, the more we can be like, okay, I feel the pain in the foot. I know that's not my pain. My body isn't taking it, but I know how to help get rid of that. And
Mm,
that's one of the beautiful parts.
yeah, recognizing what is not yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you have any like tips or tricks if someone's listening, they're like, ooh, I need a little something to help me cleanse my energy or protect myself? Like, do you have a little tidbit?
Yeah, so a couple of my favorite freebies. One of the best things you can do is, especially this time of year when it's not raining here in Charlotte, is get your feet out in the grass or go hug a tree. It's better known as grounding for some people, but it can really help just release that negative energy from your body. Mother Gaia can completely handle all the troubles. That's why there are a lot of beautiful crystals and minerals and oils that come from the earth, right? We can tune in that way. Another easy peasy way is just to do like a dry bath. Just run your hands down the opposite arm or down your torso and just imagine whatever you might have felt you picked up. Like I refer to it as ish. Just feel it going off of your body. So you're doing kind of like a dry bath.
Nice.
Um, and taking real baths. I love taking intentional spiritual baths where I'm using multiple forms of salts or crystals or oils or herbs to help release or welcome in what might need to go away or what might need to be drawn in. We can always use the law of polarity to release and draw in at the same time.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's super
Yeah.
helpful. I'm shaking it off. If you don't like something or it's like, ugh, that's not mine.
Yeah.
Shake it out, shake it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say lover or hater, the song Shake It Off is very true. When we shake our bodies, there is that somatic release. And I know you're a yogi,
Mhm.
and one of the best things you can do is move your body in an intentional way and reconnect with your breath. Breath is also the cheapest, easiest way to be able to draw in what we need and literally let it go on the exhale.
I know lengthening the exhalations actually tricks our nervous system into feeling safe. So very grounding, soothing breaths. And I do that literally millions of times a day, I think.
Yeah, and if you ever find yourself, because I know not all of us are entrepreneurs, but if we find ourselves in a corporate environment where we feel we can't break free of whatever it is that's going on, I used to literally hide in a bathroom stall and be like, okay, what is a place where I feel safe? And let's do a couple of really good deep breaths then we can go back to it. Like the nervous system's reset. My body is now capable of taking on whatever garbage they're going to try throwing at me then.
Yeah, so powerful. I remember when I was in the corporate world, I would go outside and like walk laps around the parking lot or the building just to be outside. I would take my shoes off and like be by the tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in my current life, so I do in-person healing sessions, and I have a pup who normally snores. She is her own therapy dog. But while she's doing her business, I'm very grateful that the building I'm in has phenomenal grass. So while I'm walking her, I can just take my shoes off and ground and recalibrate and be ready for the next person.
I love that. It's so
Yeah.
important. The power of nature just all around us, right? We're so
Yeah.
gifted to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where can people find you if they want to book you? How would one do that?
Yeah, the easiest way to find me is through my website, and it's CoriStuart.com. Once you know how to spell my name, I'm really easy to find because there aren't many people with my particular spelling. I'm very active on Instagram. I try to, or I should say, I'm getting better about being more active on my website because I also incorporate crystals and oils into my practice. I do coaching both in person and by distance. So same with the Reiki healing sessions.
Awesome. Very multifaceted woman. Love
Yeah.
that. And
Thanks.
mindset shifts too, like the power of shifting your mind. We just dive into that for a second because that's truly a game changer when you are able to dial into that or like guided into those things. It's powerful.
It is. I think one of the biggest fluxes that life can bring us is if we can take the time to own everything happens for us and not to us. So that switches us from being the victim of life to being the empowered individual. And I think many of us forget that we can flip that script at any moment and return back to our heart and be like, okay, this might not be what I want to be going through, but somehow it's all happening for me. Like it's creating space for something bigger to come.
Absolutely. It's like, where is the lesson in this, or what am I learning? Even in the process when it sucks,
Yeah.
there's like, there is something here, or it wouldn't be happening.
Well, and the other great aspect of that is, yeah, life will always throw us curveballs. That's the advantage or disadvantage of being on this side of the grass is no matter what we do, life is going to do life.
Yeah.
And fears never go away. It's how we respond to them and what we can do with that information. So having a great person by your side, even though it's your road, you don't have to go it alone. You can have a mentor, you can have a healer, you can have a coach, therapist, friend, whatever you feel comfortable with, but don't do it alone. Asking for help is a superpower.
Seriously, being vulnerable and asking for help is the strongest, most courageous thing that you can do.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. And with a lot of my clients, I'm very aware because started battling anxiety probably second grade, third grade.
Mm.
And for me, with my clients, I'm like, look, if you have a moment in between when we're meeting and you just need help, if you send me a text, I'm going to send you distance Reiki because it creates a ripple. You were bold enough to ask for help. Like you put on your cape and you said, hey, something's not right. I'm going to work with you so you can keep your cape on and keep that ripple moving in the positive direction.
That's beautiful. And it's a multifaceted, holistic approach to guiding someone in their health journey. So
Yeah.
it's powerful. Thank you. Thanks for being
Yeah.
awesome.
And
Do you
to
have
me, we
any-
all truly win that way. When we get to live more from a heart-centered place, it makes everybody's life easier.
It's absolutely true. And when you start to view the world that way, imagine the ripple effect that will have. And knowing deep down, like no matter what you go through, even in the trenches, it can be isolating, but you truly never, never are alone. Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have any events or anything coming up in the next couple months that you'd like to share?
Yeah. So I am a member of the Beauty Boost. We have our Hippie Dippie festival on summer solstice.
Mhm.
I will be a vendor there offering many Reiki sessions. I'm also in the process of curating custom bath salts for the solstice as well as room sprays.
Nice.
So that way we can not harness, but harvest the intentional energy of that long, long day to carry us forward through the remainder of the year. I'm also going to be a vendor at J. Morgan and Company. It's a hair salon in Cornelius. They're doing a vendor event actually the day after on the 21st, June 21st. And then I'm thinking in July, I'm going to do a virtual Reiki level 1 training. So instead of it being in person, it'll be a 4-week course by Zoom, where we'll schedule your attunement. We'll do 4 weeks of training, as well as a month of accountability and homework after, or either after or during the course. I think I'm going to switch it so it's during the course.
Yeah.
But that way individuals all over can work with Reiki level 1 and have better self-care for themselves as well as their loved ones around them.
That's amazing. So outreaching past Charlotte, I love that. So it's a great opportunity to learn Reiki, and I will see you at Hippie Dippie on June 20th.
Excellent. I
Yeah.
had a feeling.
Yeah, I'll be there. You know it. Well, Cori, thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your medicine with the world. Big thanks for tuning into Wellness Wonderland. If any of this resonates, join the community by clicking that subscribe button and connect with us at Wellness Wonderland on social media. And until next time, stay curious, stay well, and lead with love in all you do.